Welcome to the introduction on loading external data into Forecast Pro. With Forecast Pro TRAC version 3, we've added the functionality of importing external data from Excel and bringing it into the system for viewing and manipulating. With this new functionality, you can bring in a variety of different external data. For example, you can bring in external forecasts. You can bring in current orders or current inventory. You can bring in price or any other type of data that you wish. Now let's look at an example. I've loaded our standard 123 bakery data file. In order to bring in external data, we need to go to the project menu, choose Import External Data From. As you can see, we can pull from any Excel file. For this example, I'm going to pull in a sales forecast that was generated external to the program. Go ahead and say OK. What you'll see in the override grid is that we now have this additional row labeled Sales Forecast, containing the forecast that I brought in from my external Excel file. This forecast is different from the final forecast that was produced here in Forecast Pro. In order to turn on or off these new rows, we've added a control panel to the override grid itself. If I were to right-click on the override grid, I can bring up this control panel. What you'll see is it lists all of the different rows that I have available to me. My external row that I brought in, my statistical row, as well as my converted rows for my unit conversions. If I were to turn on the statistical to display both of them and go ahead and say OK, you'll see I can now see my external sales forecast row as well as my statistical row side by side with one another. As far as how this data is formatted, here's the file in Excel. As you can see, it has our complete hierarchy information with our total, category, customer, and SKU information. We've maintained a description field, and whatever is written in the description is what row the information will be put into. As you can see, they're all the sales forecasts for all of my different items. You can also see along the top we have our header with our dates. The dates are defined by a year, a dash, and then the period. This is the format for how you would put in your dates. You do not need to have forecasts for every single one of your items. You can have them for some and not others. This is perfectly allowed. It does not have to match one-to-one.